I always wanted to make a healing guide for group content, because most of the time, if you join as a DPS, you can learn the mechanics while doing the strike. But if you join as a heal support and you don't know the mechanics, it will result in a wipe. My plan is to have a healing guide for each strike hub, but if you really like these types of guides, I can start making them for fractals too, and then I will move on to raids, but I need to practice a bit more. One more thing before we start, this guide will cover how to maximize your healing, but you should focus on providing the main boons in the meanwhile and be prepared for when a mechanic will occur. Okay, let's start with the easy tree, as that is how you'll find them on LFG. Shiverpeaks Pass is the easiest strike, and it has some running to be done before you reach the boss. So, the essentials for this strike is a skill for stability and one for ages. If one skill provides both, you are golden. But the first thing you can do as a support is to use a skill that gives stability when running through the tunnel and you get close to the middle of it, because that boulder will keep you stun locked and might even down you and other players. It is also good to add ages so you don't enter combat and run faster, but that is optional. After the jumping puzzle is complete, you will get to the boss, which doesn't have many attacks and it's easy to predict when you should use a specific skill. Okay, let's begin. When you engage him, he will hit the ground and cause some shockwaves. It's good to have stability to mitigate it, and you can apply some regen as the damage is minor, and you don't need to use any healing skill. He will continue to hit the ground and spawn balls, but if you stand near him, you can ignore most of the things that are happening. At 70%, the boss will hit the ground from where you attack and then start a tornado. It's good to hit your stability providing skills again, so your group can continue to DPS. At 50% he becomes untargetable for a few seconds, and when he is hit and one of his arms falls off, you should use stability again, as he will spin and knock everyone down. Then, at 45% he will spawn a rock that generates bolts. Just move off from it if you are standing in it, and focus on providing boons and hitting the boss, as there will be no other mechanics until you reach 10%. When this happens, use stability and ages if you have it, as he will hit the ground hard, and if someone is in the impact zone, they will be downed. If you are outside of it, the damage will be higher than what you had before, so you should be prepared with some burst healing. And that is it for the first strike. Let's move on to claws, which is also one of the easier ones if everyone knows what they need to do. For this one, you should bring stability, Condi Cleanse and the projectile reflect. Okay, so most groups will start from the left so that they bring both bosses together to maximize the damage. If they start from the right, it's the same thing for you as a healer. So when the encounter starts and you hit the Fallen, he will use a skill and then teleport back while everyone will get a red circle under them. This is an immobilize skill, so you should have the stability up and Condi Cleanse ready for when it hits. At the same time, the voice will come and hit with a knockdown skill. He will use this skill periodically, so when you see he starts jumping like a scrapper when using hammer 3, you should use your stability again. Aegis works too, but if the Fallen hits someone before the attack ended for voice, they will be knocked down. At some point they will split, and voice will go in the middle and Fallen to the side. When this happens, people follow the Fallen to get its health down to 20 or 25%. In this phase he will use a lot of projectile skills, and it's good to have your projectile reflect skills up. If you don't have any, prepare to use the Condi Cleanse. When your group starts moving towards the center for the other boss, be prepared with some stability. If he already moved closer to the other boss, just look for the hammer 3 animation to provide stability in time. Now, depending on the group, they could be switching positions, so Fallen gets in the middle and Claw will move to the side. He will spin, immobilize and stun. Just have your Condi Cleanse and ages or stability as he's about to knock you down. And at some point you will see red AoEs at your feet again, and here is where you should use the projectile reflect. If not, prepare to heal a bit more than normal so everyone is topped off. If you do not have much DPS, bosses will teleport to the middle again and you can use the special action skills, and you need to be prepared as they do more damage now. Once one dies, the other will be enraged and will do combined attacks that hit a quarter of the room. And he will hit very hard, so try to get them down as much as possible, and you as a healer should be in full healing mode. If you kill one of them before they both reach the center, the other one will enter enrage mode, like in the other scenario, and hit very hard until you kill them. Same preparation as before, use stability and focus on healing until it dies. And the last one of the easy three is Fraenir of Jormag. For this strike you should bring stability and projectile reflect. Aegis is nice to have too, but it is okay without it. Okay, let's start. When you start running towards the boss, if you see you are within an orange circle, do not dodge, as this can bug you and you will be stuck in ice until the next phase. So just let it happen and then use skill 1 to get out of it. As soon as you do this, the boss will get back to the center with a knockdown. So while he's in the air, use stability and get everyone back to full HP. After he teleports away and the next boss spawns, prepare to use your stability skill, and as soon as he is no longer invulnerable, use it. It's also good to have at least 2 stacks or a stack and Aegis, as he will follow up with a hand attack that is also a knockdown. At around 70% he will be invulnerable again. He will have the same animation as in the Shiverpeaks Pass when it becomes untargetable. So, when it falls down and loses a hand, use your stability skill, as there will be a wave and a hand swipe that can knock you down. At around 55% he will start to throw a lot of projectiles that hit very hard, and this is when you should use your projectile reflect skills. If you do not have any, prepare to do a lot of burst healing. Usually if there is a firebrand in the group, they can use the third skill in the F3 tome, but you shouldn't always count on it. He will use this skill 3 times, and if you're not prepared, some people in the squad can go downstate. Once he is close to dying, he will use this skill again, so if he started casting it, you will have 3 waves of projectiles again, so prepare to use any projectile reflects. As soon as he dies, you can use your stability skill, because the main boss will respawn in the middle of the room with a knockdown, like the one from the beginning. You will keep teleporting between the edge of the arena and back to center, and every time he will do the same knockdown. So try to time your stability and hope the group has good DPS to kill him fast. We will have an increase in difficulty now with the Whisper of Jormag. This one is not a lot harder compared to the other ones, but some mechanics can kill players fast and you will not be able to help them unless you are a heal scourge to port them to you if they are downed. Let's start with the encounter. For this one you should bring stability and lots of healing, and don't stay inside the hitbox of the boss, as you will die very fast. Okay, moving on to the mechanics. Once the fight starts, you will be pushed in the air, and it is recommended to glide before you hit the ground, as it can insta-down you, even one-shot you. After you are back on the ground, you should focus on topping up the HP of the group, as many players prefer to take the fall damage so they can continue to DPS and not lose time with gliding. At around 85% everyone will get big AoE circles on them. Be prepared to do some healing, as some can overlap and take big damage. If everything is good, just focus on topping up their HP. At 75% you will be teleported away and need to kill your clone, while on the same platform with the boss your clone will hit hard everyone that is there. When you have killed the clone, it is possible that some people are low on HP or even downed. Get them up and resume attacking, but watch out for the 3 players with the chains on them so that they do not move left or right. If you are chained to the boss, try to keep from moving left or right so you do not kill anyone. If someone is hit by the chains, heal them fast, as they will go down very fast. Now the mechanics will repeat with the circles, tornadoes and chains while the boss moves to the side of the arena. In this time, try to keep everyone as close as possible to full HP. At 25% you will be teleported again and need to kill your clone, but once it is dead and you are ported back to the main platform, use a stability skill, as the boss will knock you down instantly. It is also possible that it will be delayed a bit depending on how long it takes to kill the clones. Then, at around 10%, the boss will start spawning a lot of bombs in all directions. Try to stay away from the center of the arena in case a necromancer used a worm or an engineer ported the mech in the middle of the boss. If no one used anything like that, get ready for a lot of chaos. Once the bombs stop spawning, heal up everyone and continue until the boss is dead. This last phase can be very tough because of how many mechanics are happening at the same time, but keep your cool. Try to move only forwards or backwards if you have the chains on you, and focus on the buff uptime, and you should be good. And the last strike that I will cover today is Boneskinner. This is considered one of the tougher strikes, but if you are prepared with the correct skills and group composition, this can be easier to complete than Whisper of Jormag. Let's start with what you should bring to the fight. First, you should have Projectile Reflect, and the second thing is Stability. Aegis is also recommended for some big hits, but if you can heal through them, it works without it too. Let's move on to the fight. When you start charging the boss, he will do a cone attack that knocks you down. If your group started the fight from the side, you can just ignore it. If it's targeted towards you, use Stability. You have a second to react. He will use this skill throughout the fight, usually after he spawns the puddles, so when you see it, use your Stability skill. Then, as soon as you reach him, he will start his Death Puddles attack. Move out of it with the group. You can dodge to the left or just walk, but pay close attention to this one, as there will be lots of effects on the ground and the telegraphs will not be visible. At 75% there will be a break bar check, and there will be more ads that spawn in the arena that will start throwing things at your group, so you should start using Projectile Reflex on cooldown. But pay attention so it doesn't overlap with someone else's, because it will just go to waste. If you fail the break bar, he will do a vacuum hit, where he jumps in the air and pulls you to the middle of the arena. Keep a close eye on the red margin of the attack, and when it is close to reaching the end, use your Aegis skill if you have it. If not, dodge and then heal everyone else. Shortly after, he might prepare to charge to a point in the arena. You will see this as it will look like he is screaming, and then immediately starts charging, doing a lot of damage. When you see this, use Aegis and or Stability, so at least people can move back so you can heal them fast. When he comes back to the center, you will see a big orange circle. It will fill up very fast. Use Aegis again when the circle is about 70% filled. Or if it's on cooldown, dodge at the same percentage and heal everyone. And these are all the mechanics that you should pay attention to. If everyone in the group is familiar with the encounter, it will be easier to heal. If not, you might sweat a bit. And that is it for IBS strikes. I know I haven't covered Cold War and Forging Steel, but they are pretty easy to complete. If you want me to cover Cold War 2, since that one requires a healer, let me know in the comment section below. If not, I will continue with End of Dragon strikes and finish up with Secrets of the Obscure. If you want to see more content like this, please let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please click the like and subscribe buttons.